You know how sometimes when you sit down to write something or come up with a solution to a problem, you just get nothing? Your mind goes blank. You stare at the page or the screen and just can't seem to come up with anything. And then there are those times where ideas just seem to flow effortlessly. And you wonder why you can't have that kind of experience all the time. If only there was a way to turn on the creativity faucet and generate ideas on demand. Then we could all be like those crazy inventors from the TV show MacGyver, able to solve any problem with whatever junk happens to be lying around. Well, there is a way, and it's easier than you think. Ivy spent the last decade researching creativity in the hopes of one day being able to help everyone in the world become more creative. So here's how to generate the most creative ideas, even if you don't think you're creative. Step 1. Don't force it. Easier said than done, I know. Sometimes you really need that idea to come up with, say, a great title for your novel or an awesome name for your new business. But struggling to come up with something rarely leads to a great result. If you force yourself to be creative, you're probably just going to end up frustrated and burn out. Instead, try to take your mind off the problem at hand and focus on something else entirely. Go for a walk, play a game, cook a meal, or watch a movie. Just do something that you enjoy, and that takes your mind off of your troubles. When you come back to the problem, you may find that you're able to approach it from a fresh angle and generate some truly creative ideas. Step 2. Build on something that already exists. Coming up with completely original ideas can be tough, but it's much easier to come up with something that's a riff on something that already exists. Take the iPod, for example. It wasn't the first MP3 player, but it was one of the most successful. That's because Apple took an existing product and improved on it in several key ways. They made it easier to use, they gave users more control over their music, and they integrated it seamlessly with the rest of their product line. In other words, they built on what had already been done and took it to the next level. How can you do the same thing with your ideas? What existing products, services, or concepts can you build on to create something new and unique? Step 3. Combine things that have never been combined before. Another way to generate creative ideas is to combine two or more things that have never been combined before. This can be done in a number of ways. You could combine the different objects and think about how they might work together. For example, a bicycle and a washing machine might not seem like they have much in common. But what if you were able to design a bike that could wash your clothes while you ride? Or you could combine the different concepts in a novel way. For example, what if you could create a video game that was based on real life? The possibilities are really endless here. So have fun and let your imagination run wild. Just be sure to keep track of your ideas so you don't forget them later. Step 4. Ask questions. One of the best ways to generate creative ideas is to simply ask yourself a lot of questions. This is a technique that's often used by designers, and it is a great way to get the creative juices flowing. Here's how it works. Start by asking yourself some basic questions about the problem you're trying to solve. For example, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Who are you trying to solve it for? What are the constraints you're working under? Once you've got a good understanding of the basics, start asking yourself more specific questions. For example, what would happen if you did this, or what would it look like if you did that? Don't be afraid to get really specific here. The more specific you are, the more likely you are to come up with something truly creative. So there you have it, 4 simple steps to help you generate the most creative ideas. Even if you don't think you're creative, these techniques can help anyone come up with great ideas. So don't wait. Start using them today to solve problems, make better decisions, and be more creative in all areas of your life. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.